What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Ravenport, Massive Hog Farm. This is episode number 4, I believe. Had a couple people messaging me. I'm not sure what had happened to episode 3. It got corrupted somehow. I went back in to reproduce the video, remake it, did that, and it did the exact same thing. It's got that distorted, grainy audio's there, but the video just did not turn out right at all. I do not know what happened. So I want to apologize for that. Virtually what you missed, if you were like me and just couldn't watch it, was we were just harvesting the potato field, getting them back to the root crop storage point, getting them put up in storage. We gave the hogs a few loads, just to kind of get them something in there, get them starting to be fed. So that's virtually all we missed. We're going to hop in the truck. We're going to head back up to the farm. We've got a corn harvest to work on. We have got some manure and slurry we need to start spreading. That way we can get new crops in the ground. One of the best ways to do a fertilization state, grow crops, fertilization state is to throw down some sort of fertilizer, whether it be slurry, manure, or liquid or solid fertilizer, whatever your current preference is at the time. It's just to get that thrown down prior to seeding. Go ahead and seed the field or plant the field, whatever you're going to be growing, whatever crop. And then after its first growth state, throw down another fertilizer state. You get everything done all at once, and then you can work on other things on your farm, whatever that may be. That's the route I'm going to take. I've already got the John Deere up here. I've got the semi parked up, and I've got the auger wagon sitting here. This is a massive field of corn, obviously. This is the field we plowed together. We should get a decent crop. I don't think it has any fertilization states on it. We had planted this before we had very much slurry manure. I don't have any sort of sprayer or fertilizer spread or anything like that. So we don't have that going yet. So we'll probably just go ahead and just get this started. Get this crop in. Probably haul it all over to the farm and just put it in storage and then spread it out across the 4 barns. Obviously we won't have enough out of just this one field to fill all 4 of the barns, so I want to try and give them a nice even across the board. That way they have, I believe corn makes up 50% of their recommended food, so we definitely need to get them something going. My hope and my dream is to, we've got another farm where we have a load of money at. We've got the loan out on this farm. We're paying the interest on it daily, but we've got some money stuck back in another farm on this save game. What I want to do is pull some money out of it to change up our equipment a little bit. We've got a lot of land. We've got this one. We've got the field off to the right. I believe we bought it with sugar beets in it, if I remember correctly. I may be wrong on that. Don't hold me to it. Where we've got a load of potatoes. We completely filled the root crop silage. Gave every barn 40 to 60 some thousand liters each. And I've got a trailer completely full. So we've got a lot of potatoes. And they don't necessarily take a lot of potatoes to really produce much. Potatoes is not one of the higher end. I believe it's 5-10% or something like that, and that's all. So we don't need a lot of potato sugar beets. They're both in the same category, so I'm not too worried about that. I'll probably end up either just plowing that in, or I will end up just cultivating it or even just if I had to get my direct seed drill that I'm wanting to get, that I'm really hoping to get in the next episode, is going to be the air cart. We can pull behind the little bud. That's what I'm really, really hoping for. Best of my knowledge, it's a direct seed, so we don't have to have any sort of a plowed or cultivated state. It'll just make our lives a lot simpler. One thing we've got to do is get this field of corn harvested. We've got field 10 right behind the hog farm that has sunflowers on it. We need to get it harvested. And then we need to get that plow out behind the bud. Field 9, if I remember correctly, is right there behind the farm with 10. Currently sown in grass. What I want to do is plow 9 and 10 together, get them both seeded with some sort of crop. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. A lot of that will probably be off-screen work. Get them both seeded and fertilized, get them growing so we can get some more crops in. I talked about the air cart I want to get. I also want to get another combine. I will probably end up getting another John Deere like we have. I haven't fully decided yet. Leave a comment down below what you guys want to see. If there's something else you think would fit the farm better or something else you'd like to see, just leave us a comment, shoot us a message on Facebook, either way. Right now I need to, see, I don't remember these vehicles going this fast. 121 miles per hour max speed. That's gotta be new because I don't remember that. But anyway, so what we need to do is get the little bud, go hook it up to the auger wagon, the auger cart there, so we can get crops out of the combine. The next step will be getting probably the case. Probably be best for the slurry tank here, and then I want to start getting some slurry spread. We've got the half field that's left that's sitting on the hog farm property here. We've got this field to our right. I believe that's field 8. We've got to get manure spread on both of those so we can get some seed in the ground, get some seed sprouting. I'm thinking I want to run soybeans. We're doing halfway decent on straw right now, so this crop I'm not worried about collecting straw swaths. The next round we almost certainly will end up getting some sort of a straw producing crop in the ground, some sort of straw grain. That way we can get that. I'm going to check and see oats. I don't remember oats being in the pig's food. I may be wrong. I'll have to double check that. Oats produce the most amount of straw per field. You have the same field with wheat or barley. They will do about the same amount of straw. Oats produce more straw, or leave a larger straw swath, more liters on the field than either one of the other two crops. It's just kind of the way it is set up. You get a lot more grain off of the wheat and barley, and it's not worth as much if you were to sell the grains, to where the oats are a very high selling crop, but they have a very low yield per field. That's, like I've said before, that's how kind of Farming Simulator does their crops. Yes, we know this does not have a PTO on the bud, but it will be okay. We're going to use our imaginations. If nothing else, we can say that the hydraulics not only run the auger itself, or run the hydraulics on the auger, but it runs the auger itself inside the arm. If you can use your imaginations with us. I went with the biggest cart. I've got the little bud, that's what I pull it with, so that's just what we've been doing. No, it's not realistic necessarily, but the amount of hogs we have compared to real life, it would be a massive hog farm. We would be having pig food brought in semi-loads, after semi-load after semi-load. So we're kind of working with what we have and what we have to work with. So I'm just going to let this unload. The next time I see you, hopefully we will be hooking up to the slurry tanker, and we'll get some slurry spread. So I'll see you guys back over at the hog farm in just a second. All right, guys. We done a few things there off screen, just getting a few things straightened out. When I went to turn the butt around, I ended up hitting the combine, getting it all messed up, so I had to do some straightening up there. But right now, we're going to grab the case here. We're going to hook up. We're going to go fill up straight from the hog barn. And we're going to start spreading some slurry. I think what we'll do is we'll start directly behind us right now. Over on that half of the field. My concern is that the slurry is not going to go very far as covering a lot of land. You can run through slurry very quickly. It's a lot cheaper than buying fertilizer. I think that's part of another way they offset it. The solid fertilizer goes a lot further, but it's more expensive, to where this is just a byproduct of having the hogs in the first place. So this is virtually free. Obviously we've got to work and get it and get the hogs fed so they can produce it, but it's just a byproduct that's going to save us money on our bottom line. Really make us money, because we're going to have more crops to feed the hogs, get them fed better, get them producing, and it all just kind of works together really, really well. See, I've got that load of potatoes still sitting there that I will need to get either into all the barns or start moving the potatoes from the storage point to the barns. I haven't fully decided yet, but we'll take care of that here in a minute. I'm very curious to see how long this lasts. This is not a huge section of field. I want to make sure I get lined up and don't hit those barns. I will probably just set a worker off on this, just so I know I get the most even coverage and the best possible coverage of everything. He is not liking that building being there. None of the workers really do. Once they get past the building, they're fine, but that building really scares them. Yeah, I think he'll be okay right up here. See, the combine is still going. It's 80% full. Some fairly decent corn we've got going. I'm going to run and check on the combine. I will see you guys back here in a minute when this is empty. And we'll get her top back up and keep it going. So I'll see you guys back here in just a minute. Alright guys, we are back. We've got the harvester going again. This is completely empty. I was thinking about it, and I don't want to have to just keep going back and forth, losing my spot where I was after trying to come back and get lined up. We've got the Garrett FRC. This right here will allow us to move, and we've got the TSA 30,000. I don't want to bring a semi out. I really like the idea of this one, the FRC. We can hook it up to a tractor, go to the slurry pit, pump the slurry out, take it to the field by tractor. I'm really liking this. 55,000 liters, a couple different wheel options. What to do? Not enough money. Well, I think you know what we have to do here. Just get a little bit of a loan, just enough to get that purchase. We've got enough now. Let's see, what color do we want to do it? Brown, crimson. I think dirt brown for the poo would be a really good idea. Oh, I didn't get enough money to go ahead and change the color as well. So we'll just set that back to default. Go ahead and purchase that. We're going to run up to the store, pick this up. This way, obviously, it's not going to. It's going to have some left after we fill the slurry tanker, which is not an issue or a problem at all. That'll actually work out really well for us. If we're further away from home, we'll have a little bit extra. Go ahead and top it off, run, get some more. By the time we're back, it's ready for it to be done. I think that load we're going to put in is going to be enough to finish that field once we get it in there. So I'm not too worried about it. We're just going to head on down to the store right now and just get that picked up and get it brought back. I'd completely forgotten about that piece of equipment when I started this. I use it a lot on 17. I was doing my own animals. I was doing wanting to get rid of the slurry, wanting to sell the slurry, and because we had slurry trading post and manure trading post on 17. Now we have the manure seller and purchase point. You can buy and sell, which is perfect, which is great. We're not worried about selling any. We want to keep it and use it as fertilizer on our fields. We've got the massive, I believe it's 60,000 liter manure spreader, which is going to work out really, really well. It came in the big bud pack, which is funny because it runs off PTO and neither one of the buds have PTO. But yet again, we'll probably end up using one of the buds to pull it around and spread that manure. Just so we can. Ooh, train's coming. Ooh, go around. Oh. Woo! That was close, guys. That was very close. Had that been much closer, we'd have got hit, and that would have been on a blooper reel instead of in this video. That is a very large container for slurry. That's going to work out perfect. Go ahead and take this back on up to the farm. We'll get it loaded up. We'll top off that slurry tanker. That'll probably bring this video towards the end. I'm working on 2 current tag-alongs right now. We've got the Massive Hog Farm and we've got in the Alps. I'm really liking the way the Alps is turning out. This right here is actually doing really well. I'm actually really, really happy with how this hog farm is running, and we haven't really started selling any hogs. I need to check and see how many hogs those barns will hold. I don't remember for sure off the top of my head, but I don't want it to max out and then stop producing hogs, because that's the whole point. What we'll probably do is knock those numbers back down to 200. We'll sell off whatever is there above 200. I believe we're up to 250, 260 somewhere in that range. We'll sell those hogs off. I don't remember how much you get per hog, but that will help with our food. Bring those numbers back down. They produce so quickly. We'll be right back up there in no time at all. And that's how we wanted to make our money. As far as contracts go, the slurry, the manure, I don't think it's going to go far enough to produce or fertilize our own fields, let alone our neighbors. So I'm not really worried too much about contracts at the moment. I might take some harvest contracts if it's for a certain crop type. We might even see about buying it off of the owner of the field. And when I say that, it's a very loose term. When you start a contract, you get the field harvested, you load it up in your trailer. Obviously, you don't want to borrow any of their equipment, otherwise you're going to lose the grains. But what you do is you just load it in your trailers, your storage points, wherever. Then when you end the contract, because you've already harvested the grains, it thinks the grains are missing. So what you end up doing is paying for the grains that are missing. I think it says something along the lines of lost crops or lost grain, and it charges you. Now that gets very, very expensive. I'd done it once. That's how I kind of figured out that you could do it by accident. I was in the middle of a contract, had grain in the trailer, and for whatever reason I was wanting to get out of the contract, and when I did, because the grain wasn't taken to the sell point, it took it as a lost grain. I still had it in my trailers, but it was like 160 some thousand is what the hit I took. And it took a minute to realize what had happened. I went from having $30,000-$40,000 sitting in my bank account to negative an astronomical amount of money, and I just couldn't figure out what I had done. I held on to the grain until I got a really, really good price. Then I was able to sell it and virtually break even, which is fine. You know, it all worked out in the end. But that is a way you can kind of buy grain. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, done it yourself, tripped and fell into it, or if someone else has it on there. But like I said, it's a very expensive way to do it. To make money on it, it would be very difficult. I don't know how the game decides how much you lost from the contract. Doing a little bit of playing around with that is something I might do off screen. Is fine if the price is, you know, really, really low, and you do it what it charges you compared to when you do it when it's really, really high. It might be something along those lines that you can get it at a low price, harvest it in the contract, keep it, wait till the price goes up, and then sell it, make some money that way. Or you can do what we're doing and use it to actually feed animals. But that's something for another video. We're going to run over here. We're going to fill up the slurry tank, get it going again. That's going to bring this video to an end. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to hit the little bell next to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe in the first place if you haven't already. We've got a couple of subscribers now. Somebody's enjoying our videos. If you have friends that you think might like it, feel free to share it. Let them know about it. Look us up on Facebook, Rogue Gaming 19. Come holler at us. Come join us. And until next time, we'll see you again.